in the heart of Lagos, where glass towers pierce the sky and money flows like the Niger River. There lives a businessman named Emeka Okonkwo. He has everything: mansion, cars, connections. But 3 months ago, he had nothing. Some say he made a deal. Others whisper of a woman who visits him when darkness falls, a woman with eyes that hold no light. This is the story of Emeka Okonkwo and the spirit that taught him. Greed has a price beyond money. 3 months earlier, Emeka Okonkwo sat in a cramped one-room apartment in Ajagunle, the slum district where dreams came to die. He stared at his empty bank account on a cracked phone screen, listening to his pregnant wife cry in the next room. He was 35 years old, a university graduate working 3 jobs that paid nothing. His father back in the village had warned him, Lagos swallows men whole. But Emeka had come anyway, chasing the Lagos dream. Now the dream was choking him. That night, frustrated and furious, Emeka walked to a local bar. He had 500 naira in his pocket, barely enough for 2 beers, but he needed to escape the sound of his wife's tears. Inside, through the smoke and noise, he saw her. She sat alone in the corner, wearing traditional Igbo wrapper and blouse that somehow looked expensive, out of place in this shabby bar. Her skin seemed to glow in the dim light, and she was staring directly at him.
Hey, sorry, Ma, can I join you? This place is too full.
Sit, Emeka. I've been waiting for you.
You know my name? Have we met before?
I know many things about you. Emeka Okonkwo, son of Nonso, husband of Kioma, father of the child not yet born. I know you work 3 jobs. I know you have 500 naira in your pocket. And I know what you truly want.
Emeka felt his mouth go dry. Something was wrong about this woman. The way she moved, the way the light seemed to bend around her, the way no one else in the bar even glanced her direction. But he was too desperate to care.
What I want money. I want success. I want to stop living like a rat in Ajagunle. Can you give me that?
Yes. I am Adaeze. I help ambitious men achieve their dreams, but everything has a price.
I don't have money to pay you. That's why I need help.
Money? I don't want your money, Emeka. I want your loyalty, your gratitude, and one small thing more, to be claimed when I choose.
She reached into her wrapper and pulled out a small leather pouch, placing it on the table between them. Even in the dim bar light, the leather seemed to pulse with its own heartbeat.
Inside this pouch is red earth from a sacred place. Sprinkle it at the threshold of any business you wish to enter. Doors will open, opportunities will find you, wealth will flow to you, like water flowing downhill. But remember, Emeka, I will come to collect.
When will you collect?
When you have more than you need, but still want more. When greed has replaced gratitude.
Emeka should have walked away. should have thrown the pouch back at her, should have run from the bar and never looked back. But desperation makes men stupid, and pride makes them blind. He took the pouch. When he looked up to thank her, she was gone. The seat across from him sat empty, as if she had never been there at all. Only the pouch in his hand proved it wasn't a dream. The next morning, Emeka used the red earth as instructed. He sprinkled it at the gate of Sterling Construction, a company he'd tried to get hired at for months. That afternoon, they called him for an interview. By evening, he had a job. It was just the beginning. Within 2 weeks, he was promoted. Within a month, he was managing projects. Doors that had been locked for years suddenly swung open. Men who wouldn't return his calls now invited him to lunch. Everything was working. His wife Kioma was grateful. His father in the village was proud. Emeka told them it was hard work, good luck, God's blessing. He never mentioned the woman in the bar, or the pouch of red earth he kept hidden in his office drawer. But as the months passed, something changed in Emeka. Success wasn't enough anymore. A comfortable salary became insufficient. A nice apartment became too small. He wanted more. He always wanted more.
Feani, listen. I don't care if it's technically illegal. Everyone does it. Everyone takes contracts under the table. Everyone inflates their invoices. Why should we be different?
Exactly. My guy, this government contract is worth 20 million naira. We do the work for 10, pocket the rest. Simple.
Simple. I like simple.
And so it began. The corruption, the bribes, the cutting of corners, the exploitation of workers, the theft from government projects meant for poor communities. Emeka justified it all. Everyone did it. Why not him? Within 6 months of meeting Adaeze, Emeka was a millionaire. Mansion in Lekki, 3 cars, investments, properties. His son was born into luxury. His wife wore designer clothes. But Emeka had forgotten something important. He had forgotten to be grateful. One night, as Emeka counted cash from his latest corrupt deal, Chioma approached him with concern in her eyes.
Emeka, my love, I've been thinking about how blessed we are. Maybe we should give something back, help people in your village, donate to charity.
Charity? Chioma, I worked for this. Nobody gave me charity when I was suffering in Ajagunle. This money is mine.
But the way you're making it, lately, I hear things. Emeka, people talk about shortcuts, about money that isn't clean.
You hear things? Then stop listening. You enjoy this house, these clothes, this life. Don't question how I provide it.
Chioma left the room in tears. And in that moment, standing alone with his piles of dirty money, Emeka felt nothing. No guilt, no shame, no gratitude for how far he'd come. Only hunger for more. That night, Emeka woke to find someone sitting in his bedroom. Adaeze,
You, how did you get in here? Security.
Emeka Okonkwo, I told you I would come to collect. Do you remember our agreement?
Look, whatever you want, I can pay. I have money now, lots of money. Name your price.
My price? Emeka, I gave you everything. You had nothing, and I made you rich. You were invisible, and I made you important. And what did you do with my gift?
She stood, and as she rose, her form began to change. Her skin still glowed, but now with a sickly green light. Her eyes were completely black, like empty holes in her face. Her limbs seemed too long, her fingers too many.
You became greedy. You stole from the poor. You lied. You cheated. You hurt people to fill your pockets. I am Adaeze, spirit of retribution. I give greedy men what they deserve.
Please, I'll give it back. All of it. I'll donate everything. Please don't hurt my family.
Your family. You didn't think of them when you were stealing. You didn't think of your son's future when you were taking bribes. Now you will learn the true cost of greed.
She reached out with one elongated hand, fingers stretching impossibly long, and touched his chest. Emeka felt something pull from inside him, not his heart, not his blood, something deeper.
I take what you value most, not your money, not your life, your satisfaction. From this moment, nothing will ever be enough.
And then she was gone. Emeka sat in his bed, chest heaving, unsure if he'd dreamed it all, until he looked at his hands. They were shaking, and they would never stop. 3 months later, Emeka Okonkwo sits in his mansion, surrounded by wealth, and feels nothing but emptiness. The curse is simple but devastating. No matter how much money he makes, it's never enough. No matter what he buys, he feels no joy. His hands shake constantly, a physical reminder of what was taken.
10 million more. If I just make 10 million more, then I'll be satisfied. Then I'll be happy. Then it will be enough.
But it never is. He closes more corrupt deals, takes bigger bribes, steals more money, and feels nothing. His wife took their son and left. She couldn't bear to watch him destroy himself.
Emeka, I don't know you anymore. You've become something else, something hollow. I'm taking our son before he learns to be like you.
Let them go. I don't need anyone. I have money.
But money can't fill the void inside him. He tries everything, buys expensive cars he never drives, invests in properties he never visits, hoards cash in safes he rarely opens. Nothing satisfies. Nothing ever will. Late one night, Emeka returned to his father's village, hoping the old man might know how to break the curse. Papa Nonso looked at his son with eyes full of sorrow.
Papa, there was a woman. She gave me power, but now she's cursed me. You know about spirits. Papa, how do I break this?
Adaeze. She has walked this land for centuries. She appears to greedy men, offers them wealth, then teaches them the true meaning of punishment.
But how do I stop it? How do I break free?
You don't. Adaeze's curse has no cure. Once greed replaces gratitude, once a man values money over people, she takes his ability to be satisfied. You will chase wealth until it destroys you.
So I'm just supposed to live like this? Forever?
No, my son. You will not live forever. Adaeze's victims always destroy themselves. The greed becomes madness. The madness becomes death. And then she finds the next greedy man.
Emeka drove back to Lagos that night, his hands shaking on the steering wheel. He knew his father was right. He could feel it inside him, the endless hunger that would never be fed. 2 weeks later, Emeka Okonkwo's business partner Ifeanyi found him in his office. He had worked himself to death, literally, counting money, until his heart gave out. His hands were still moving when they found him, trying to count bills that weren't there. The newspapers called it a heart attack, brought on by stress. His lawyers called it karma. The villagers who knew the old stories called it Adaeze's justice. At his funeral, Chior Ma stood with their son, both dressed in black. She felt sadness, yes, but also relief. The man she'd loved had died long before his body did. And somewhere, in another shabby bar, in another part of Lagos, a desperate man notices a beautiful woman sitting alone.
Good evening. You look like you could use some help.
Adaeze never runs out of clients. In a city of 20 million dreamers, there will always be men who want more than they deserve. Men who confuse ambition with greed. Men who forget that every gift has a price. And in the darkness of Lagos nights, if you listen carefully, you can still hear them. Greedy men counting money with shaking hands, forever chasing satisfaction they will never find. Because Adaeze always collects her due.